Hey, this is Mike Nelson with the Mike Nelson team again. I wanted to show you another tool that we use as part of the team. I don't necessarily get any reference or kickbacks or referrals or anything from these companies. These are just companies that we've stumbled across through other mentors and experts that we found, success breeds success. If others are doing it, why not? Right? So the power of Realvolve, again, I could get really hours into these tools and all their functionalities. I'm hoping just to give you a taste of it. We don't do a whole lot with this dashboard yet. We're still only 6 or 8 months into this tool, and most of it is basically, this is a CRM or customer relationship management tool on steroids. It'll do a lot for you. The beauty I like about this, and again, you have Brivities, and I'm sure those are all great, excellent tools. Ben Kinney's of the world and all that stuff do some awesome products. This is just one that we settled in on. It is like Ben's in the fact that it does transactional based software or transactional based software program where you can actually guide your transaction coordinators. You can set up workflows for your buyer's agents to go through, listing agents. It's just well organized. Pros and cons, the pros are it is a very streamlined where you can get really detailed into every single thing that goes on in the transaction, whether it's to put a sign in a yard and who does it, to sending Zillow feedbacks to people, to you name it. It's a very in-depth checklist. The cons are they know a lot of times people don't have the time to build the back ends to all the transaction stuff and all the functionality you can do. So they're going to charge you if you want to import some of their templates on the transactional based piece. My team, we just buckled down and just made our own. Definitely took us quite a few hours, many hours to build them. Then you got to test them, so on and so forth. We just figured that if we bought them, we'd have to end up customizing them to some degree anyways. So with that, I just wanted to let you know, it's a great tool, but it is like anything else we use on our team. It's kind of on steroids, and it's quite a bit of to bite and chew. Anyways, just go through it real quick. Here is the CRM piece of it, so you can go in. You can see I have administrative view right now. So as a team, we have 2,198 people loaded into our CRM. You can see here that this is the properties. These would be the properties that we have just kind of loaded into our system that are either pre-listing or under contract, whatnot. You can do a lot of filtering on things as these lists get bigger and bigger. We won't really get into that. The dollar sign represents the current transactions. So current or closed transactions, I should say, for this year or the end of last year into this year. Don't think we haven't closed 19 in 3 weeks. But anyways, a lot of good information here. What it'll really allow you to get into is, I'll just choose one. We'll choose this one here. What's cool about these is you can put a lot of information. You can see this is a lot of the workflow stuff that we've done, settlement sheets, walkthroughs, closing, setup, so on and so forth. So you can link the house to a map just by putting the address in here. You can connect people to Facebook. So I guess I can kind of go back to, oops, I didn't mean to attach a notebook. We'll go back and look at the contacts for just a second and show you kind of the power of the CRM piece of it. So let's just, I don't really know, let's just check this person here. It won't have a lot of information in it because I don't have a lot on this particular person, but this is just a fictitious person anyways. But the radar is kind of your main page where you can start workflows, and we'll get into workflows in a little bit, but workflows, you can set them up for 90-day contact plans, email campaign plans, setting events for them. You can tie together their Facebook page here, their Twitter, their LinkedIn, Evernote, and all that good stuff can all be in here. So pretty cool stuff. If you look at the contact page here, you'll be able to put in their address, their birth dates, anything you can grab from Facebook or whatever the case may be. How long have you known them? When did they move last? I mean, it gets really, really detailed. So that way you'll always have as much information you possibly can on your clients. You could tie together any properties that they might own or have and put them in here. Again, this is kind of a dummy account, so not really worried about it. If they had done any transactions, you would see that in here. We don't really use this, but you could add showings in here. Obviously, you can dump files in here if you have something from a client you want to put in here. the activities, there's probably not much coming on. You can see in the fictitious world we have birthdays here, and it's running every year, so we would be notified to send them something on a birthday. Um, and then we don't have any emails for this fake person. Um, but anyways, a lot of neat stuff in this thing. What I want to kind of do is I'll jump over for a minute and go to workflows. You can see over here, like we created an 8x8 workflow to keep up with our clients. So back on that contact page, you could see if we wanted to, we could have assigned a workflow to the Dan Sullivan guy. And basically this would then kick off some workflow activities here that we would be able to do. So in this case, we just have a dummy account set up, so this isn't a great example. Maybe this is the one we should be looking at. So you can see in this case, this is one we have as a Mike Nelson team, Keller Williams 8x8 that we could assign the gentleman to. And you would see that we have an introduction. We might send a puppies for sale email out, like a soup for the soul thing, sending out something on a fruit medley pizza. We'd make a phone call, so on and so forth. And we just kind of, it's just a way to, every day you'll have activities like up here that pop up and say, hey, I got an email, I got received an email from one of my clients on a closing coming up. So a lot of cool features in here. Again, I can't do this system justice with just a few minutes, but I don't want to bore you to tears either. If we kind of go back over to the dashboard feature and kind of go through, like these are all the activities that are outstanding. Like I have an inspection objection on a Liberty Ridge that's coming due, agent to review title commitment on all these are Liberty Ridges, with a couple of other things. Here's a Preston that we have, a birthday of somebody that I need to get a hold of. Obviously that was 2 days ago. I was supposed to call and tell this guy happy birthday. So it's all just put right in here. Where I think one of the biggest powers in this tool is what we mentioned before is not only keep your clients have to be kept always aware that you're in business and that you're here for them and what kind of value add are you providing to them. Let's just kind of look at a seller transaction for let's look at a buyer transaction. So this is an actual workflow that we use to coordinate between agents and transaction coordinators to get the buyer to closing. We have 41 tasks. That's, I mean, we're pretty involved in what we do. I'll just kind of take you through some of those. You know, you can see whose responsibility is. The buyer's agent's supposed to upload the executed CBS into the file, so they would create a new entry in Realvolve, a transaction. They would fill out the address and everything we saw on that page. Then they're going to give access to the TC in CTM. Text the inspector. That's another really cool thing here, is this thing can actually do an auto text to an inspector that just says, in our case, hey, just FYI, you know, to our inspector, you might get a call from Jane Doe. We all know that they have the ability to use whomever they want. We're going to give them a couple of inspectors' names. But just as an FYI, Jane Doe put an offer in on a house or got under contract on 123 Main Street, and all of this stuff uses coding, so you can actually it'll actually put the client's name in there without you typing it, put the address of the home in there, and it just texts the inspector for just randomly when you hit go on the workflow, and he or she will get a note that says, hey, Jane Doe. So it saves me a phone call from having to tell the inspector Jane Doe might be getting a hold of you. It just automates it. Obviously, we would send out contracts and contact sheets. We would send out the executed CBS to the lender. Teambook Facebook posts. We're all about putting stuff on Facebook. You know, there's appraisals in here. There's send out review requests for Zillow. The transaction coordinators do a lot of work for our team. So you'll kind of see in here everything the transaction coordinators do is always unlicensed work for the most part. Appraisal alerts, again, you see that inspection objections written. Have they checked on property insurance? So we're really keeping our clients from, you know, missing any dates or deadlines. So this all had to be set up. It can all be done through an email workflow. It can be a text workflow. It can be just a reminder to somebody. And what's, like I said, that's just kind of the cool features of this system that, again, I could go in for days on this thing and talk about it. So let me just give you one we have under contract right now. You know, Sweetgrass, actually that one just kind of fell apart due to some lending stuff, but you can see on this radar it'll say call lender to discuss status of ordering appraisal. So it's just a notes area that not only you as the agent, but the TCs or anybody else can kind of look at and see what's going on. For this particular one, there's no incomplete activities. If you looked at the completed ones, there should be quite a few. So add client to the post-closing campaign, check if closing docs have received. These have all been done, by the transaction coordinator, by the agent. So you can kind of get a feel for everything that's going on. So anyways, sorry, didn't mean to belabor that. It's a cool tool. I can't do it justice in just 10 minutes, but I wanted to show it to you anyways. So let us know if you have any questions on this particular tool, or go look it up online and get some more research. And thanks a lot.